YouTube, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is having a blessed day. I actually just got clean on the outside of the Jeep, just real quick before I run some errands. So one of the things I wanted to give you guys a quick update on is my home buying process. If you subscribe to me, you will know in my last video I was telling you guys that me and my girl, we made an offer on a condo that we've been looking at for a few weeks now, and we had the inspection done, and unfortunately there was some signs of mold. Even though the place is newly renovated, the building is kind of an old building, and there were some signs of mold. So unfortunately, we had to kill the deal on that offer, and we're on to another place in the same area. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. So unfortunately, with the home buying process, you know, it can go either way. That's why you got to make sure you have a really good realtor and make sure they are helping you to make the right decision. And you always got to make sure you're getting those inspections done to make sure all these different single family homes, condos, and things of that sort, make sure everything actually checks out. So hopefully everything goes well with another place that we're looking at. So I'll keep you guys updated. So to get to the business of things that I wanted to tell you guys about the topic of the video, the title of the video is how I built my credit to actually to get my Jeep SRT, what I'm in right now. So I just want to let you guys know that I actually started off with really bad credit. Like from college, when I first went to college, I actually had, I think when I was 18, when I first went to college, I was able to get a Capital One credit card with, I think it was $500 credit limit. So that was what my mom, she recommended me get Capital One to try to help me build my credit. And of course, with me being a freshman in college, I was extremely materialistic, and I was, you know, into sneakers and Jordans and all that stuff like I am today. And I think within like the first few weeks of me having the Capital One card, I think I maxed it out all on food and Jordans, just being irresponsible, unfortunately. So so that put me in a stage where, you know, once I got to 20, I just stopped. I think you know, a year or two later, I think I was about 20, 21, I just stopped paying on it. So when you stop paying on stuff, of course, it reports to all three of the bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So with that $500 credit limit, and then fees and more fees and more fees and late fees piling up, penalties and all that stuff, eventually it was negatively reported on all three of my credit reports. For, I would say, with all the fees and everything, it was about $1,000. So with that happening, it just, I think my credit score for the longest was about 500, man. 500, 550. It wasn't nice, man. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice when you get older, applying for things, and you're literally getting denied for anything, man. Lenders don't want to loan you. Lenders don't want to loan you a penny, you know, just because, you know, you have bad credit. They don't trust you. You're not responsible with finances. And that's one thing I can admit. When I was younger, I definitely wasn't responsible with finances. So that's just one thing, man. You know, I just you know, you just learn from your mistakes. You know, you learn from your mistakes, and you have to fix them. So the age of 25, 26, I actually was able to, I finally realized that, man, I'm not going to be able to do nothing that I really want in life without fixing my credit. So I had to, before building my credit, I had to get my credit repaired first. So I had to hire a company to help me repair my credit, and they did an extremely good job, man. They did a really good job, and got me back on my my feet, and I went from 550, 560 all the way to, what was it? I think after everything, had a few negative items on my credit report, including that credit card, a few like doctor bills, just stupid stuff that I should have paid for. Was able to get that stuff off. I want to say after everything was done, it's about a 720. After my credit was fully repaired, I was at a 720 credit score. So with me being at a 720 credit score, you know, you think everything is good and everything, you know, banks just go give you all type of money and loans. It doesn't necessarily work that way. Once you get your credit repaired and all the negative stuff is off, now you have to build history. And now when lenders see your credit, they're going to see your credit score is at a 700, 720, but you don't have like a lot of history. You got to think about it. The only line of credit that I've had ever in my life, you know, that I started with was the credit card that I had that was $500. Now, I eventually had to pay it off and get it knocked off of my credit, get it taken off of my credit, but that was the only line of credit that I had. So with that being the only line of credit that I had and everything is cleared off, technically, even though my credit score is a 720, I really don't have any history. So when you don't have any history, the banks, they're just going to, and the lenders, banks, lenders, whatever you want to call it, they're going to just sometimes take a chance on you. You know, you're technically not considered extremely high risk since you have if you have a 700 plus credit score, but what they're really looking for is history. So if they're like, okay, this person has good credit now, okay, maybe we can trust them somewhat. So that's how I was able to get my 2013 Chrysler 300S back in like 2013, 2014. So that's how I was able to get that. And I would say that was probably the best way I was actually able to build my credit, by financing that car. I got my Chrysler with a I think 4 or 5% interest rate. I want to say 4 or 5% interest rate, which wasn't bad for somebody just starting off. And my car payments were probably like a little bit under $400 a month. So it was good, and I paid that car off in about 4 years. So with me doing that, paying that car off in 4 years and making payments on time, and sometimes even doubling up on payments and making large payments sometime, my credit score just went sky high, man. It went to about close to an 800. So with my credit score doing that and having history, and I forgot to tell you guys this, also when I bought the car, I was able to get Capital One actually took me back, and you know, because I paid them back, and it was from so many years ago, they actually took me back, and I was able to get a $5,000 credit limit with them. So I got the $5,000 credit limit after, you know, once I repaired my credit. I was able to finance my car, so I was able to do both of those, and that set me up to, you know, build credit history. And me financing my 300 and me getting that $5,000 credit limit with Capital One, and you know, showing good history with them for the, you know, next 4 to 5 years, that helped me out extremely, man. Like it put me in a position where Capital One, after 4 years, they took my credit limit up to about $20,000. And with me paying off my car, and when I was able to ready to get my Jeep, it put me in a position where lenders, they didn't even blink on giving me the money based off, of course, based off my income and all that stuff. They didn't blink twice about giving me the money for my Jeep to finance. So, you know, I'm just letting you guys know that's how I got my Jeep, from, you know, fixing my credit, and then, you know, not jumping the gun and trying to just go get, you know, a $70,000 car. You gotta it takes steps sometimes. You know, I had to start off with a $35,000 car before I jumped to the $75,000 car. You know what I mean? So, and even with my Jeep now, it's probably gonna help me get, you know, my Trackhawk when it's that time. They see, you know, he paid off a, you know, $60,000 car. You know, he payments on time, and he makes double payments sometime, and makes large payments towards the the balance of the loan sometimes. So that actually is going to help me just in the long run for buying properties and everything. Also, that that Chrysler and that $5,000 Capital One that actually helped me to buy my home that I'm going to be buying here soon. You know what I mean? Building your credit history, man, it takes steps, man. This stuff is just not something that happens overnight. You really have to work at it and build that history so that lenders and banks can actually trust you, with that credit score and that credit history and that consistent credit history of making those payments on time, making double payments, and always paying over the minimum on your credit cards and paying off balances. All that stuff matters, man. All that stuff is reported to all three of the bureaus: TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. All those things are reported. And in America, man, you have to have good credit if you want to live the life like you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion. It might be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I feel like, in this world, if you don't want to have to pay cash for everything, you have to have credit. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have $500,000 to $1 million to buy like your dream home and stuff like that. So, you have to have credit. You might not want to spend, $100,000 in cash on your own car. So you have to have good credit. The banks are going to trust you to pay back all that money over time. Now, if you got the cash to pay for a car or home, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying don't